Hi everyone, I'm Carrie Kelly of Carry Me Away Travels, a small boutique hotel or a small boutique travel agency based out of Grand Isle, Vermont. And I'm super excited to be here today with Julian from Rail Escape based in Munich to talk about our upcoming Christmas market tour at the beginning of December. And so I'm going to bring Julian on now to introduce himself, and we're going to do a nice walkthrough of the itinerary, answer some questions that we've received, and be able to see if we can, um, uh, you know, talk about what we've got planned. So go ahead, Julian, introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi together. Here's Julian. Really happy to speak and present you like the Christmas market tour that we were planning together with Carrie. I'm from Rail Escape. I'm the founder of Rail Escape. We are a small tour operator based in Munich, focusing on premium rail travel, premium rail packages, and that's also what you will experience in this amazing Christmas market trip.
Excellent. So a little bit more about me. I did live in Augsburg, Germany for 2 years back in the 1980s, which is also where Julian was actually born and raised in the area, which is kind of what brought us together. We were excited to find that out about each other. But while I lived in Germany, I did a lot of rail travel and really fell in love with the Eurail pass and getting around Europe by rail. And so this has always been a real passion of mine, is to be able to share this love with others. And so we are going to do a walkthrough of our itinerary. I'm going to go ahead and share that with everybody now, and have Julian walk us through every day and see what people think about our itinerary. And here we go. So we will be arriving in Munich on December 5th, or the tour starts on the 5th. If people want to arrive early, we can always build in a few days prior, but the official tour will kick off on Saturday, December 5th.
Yeah, exactly. That's where everything then will start. In beautiful Munich, you will arrive airport Munich for this 9-day Christmas market adventure. And after you arrive to Munich airport, we will get you by a private transfer to your hotel so that you have a little bit of time to relax, arrive well in our Bavarian capital. And then in the afternoon, probably around 3 p.m., there's the first common session, getting together, get to know each other for this trip. And we will visit the first Christmas market, get some Glühwein. That's how we Germans call the mulled wine, the traditional one. And introduce you on the trip, what you will experience. And we can have a nice first afternoon here in Munich. There will be then a little bit of also free time in the evening. So like that's an for yourself, where you either can explore more the city or just get back to your hotel to have a good sleep after a longer journey arriving from the US.
Excellent. And then the next day, we are going to be traveling on to Augsburg, which is the city that I lived in for those 2 years I was in Germany, and where Julian was born and raised.
Yeah, definitely. Like that will be the first day trip that we organize. So like definitely one great opt or one great benefit of how the trip is organized is that you will have your base in Munich, and so like the comfort of staying in one place, and then several day trips organized to different places. First day trip, as Carrie mentioned, will be to Augsburg. It's a short train ride where we get started around noon, meaning morning is for yourself. So like you have plenty of time to get your breakfast. That will be every day included, as well as walk a little bit through the city, get like yourself more familiar, or like just visit, for example, like the surfers at the wave in Munich. Now, when you're wondering, Munich has like waves to surf. Yes, actually, that's true. There's a artificial wave where you can surf and where you also find surfers during winter time. So that's quite a nice attraction. And yeah, you're during the morning absolutely free to experience that by yourself. We will travel together to Augsburg in first class, also all trips and also all rail connections between the destinations are in first class. It will be a short train ride of around 30 minutes where you then arrive to Augsburg. There will be an organized tour where you get to know like a little bit the sights of Augsburg. For example, there are a lot of really nice squares from the Renaissance age. There is also the Fuggerei. The Fuggerei is kind of a charity area for people to live where you still at the moment pay just €1 monthly rent. So like there's a really interesting history behind that. That's what you get to know during the trip. And of course also like the Christmas market where we then get together at around 4 or 5 p.m. to visit, where you also then have time for getting some gifts or just drink mulled wine or enjoy some small snacks. The evening will be then that we visit a traditional German or Bavarian restaurant in Augsburg. There will be a table reserved at 6:30. We will have dinner together until we probably around 8:30 get back on a 30 minutes train ride to Munich. Where we then will arrive at around 9 p.m. So like during that day, it's a good mixture between your own space for like discovering the places as well as like an organized day trip to Augsburg.
Awesome. And then the next day, like Julian said, we will be staying in Munich for our, for a number of nights so that we are not switching hotels to try to make things easier. So we'll be leaving Munich and heading towards Salzburg.
Yes, Salzburg is this will be a full day trip because there's first plenty of things to discover in Salzburg, and it's also a really nice 2 hour scenic rail trip to arrive to Salzburg. So we probably will depart Munich at around 11 a.m. Will arrive then around 1 p.m. and then have their city tour organized, which will last around 1.5 hours. So like approximately getting then finished with the tour around 3:30. You afterwards have time to experience the city of Mozart by yourself a bit. So like plenty of time to walk through the narrow cobblestone streets and lose yourself in the beauty of Salzburg, especially during Christmas time. Fun fact, don't know whether you have known that also Augsburg is the city of Mozart, but not of Wolfgang Amadeus, but of his father, because Augsburg is the birthplace of his father. We will then visit in the later afternoon a Christmas market together, get also there some snacks, get a warming mulled wine, and then have something really special organized for you. Of course, you cannot visit Salzburg without a classical concert. So there will be organized amazing dinner together with a Mozart concert that will probably start then at around 7:30 together with the dinner. It will last around 10 p.m. And after that, we will then return to Munich, where you probably will then arrive at around midnight. So this will be a full day, but a full day of really amazing experiences in Salzburg. So definitely you should look forward for this first scenic rail trip, and second, of course, a beautiful place of Mozart.
Which is why we left this next day to be just a day to explore Munich, right? So we will not be getting on a train the following day, but instead just having this day to explore the city that we are staying in.
Yeah, exactly. So like after that longer day to Salzburg, there will be a relaxed day in Munich at the 8th of December. So like sleep long, get your breakfast, relax, and then afterwards, get by yourself into the city as you prefer. We will have a small city tour arranged at 2 p.m. and that will last probably also around 1.5 hours. And in the afternoon, we will visit some different Christmas markets. So after that, again, the day will be yours, or the evening then at that time will be yours, and you have time for yourself and getting also the dinner in the restaurants that you prefer.
Perfect.
Maybe one annotation. I think that's also the day where you will visit Hofbrauhaus, but that's something that Carrie can tell you
Yes,
a little bit more.
if you put down your deposit before the 1st of June, the people who do that have a free experience to a private tour of the Hofbrauhaus in Munich, and so we would do that on this day. So that would happen as well on the 8th of December. So that would be added in for those that deposit early. Then we are moving on to the castle that inspired Walt Disney, and this is the castle when you go visit the Walt Disney World theme parks that inspired him. So this is Neuschwanstein.
Yeah, so like Disney World in real, that's what actually King Ludwig II built. And a very interesting fact is that despite of being king, he built the castles, two castles, like Castle Neuschwanstein, the famous one, and the Castle Hohenschwangau of his by his private money. So like no state money was used to build that castle, and that's definitely an interesting fact because that had not been the standard at that time. There are often state money, and additional taxes had been introduced to build the king's castles. So like that day will be also more relaxed day. We will around noon take then the train to Füssen, get a transfer by taxi to the castle because it's a little bit outside, around 10 to 15 minutes by car. And then we have like an organized castle visit of Neuschwanstein and the other castle Hohenschwangau. At around probably 5 p.m., we then get back to Füssen. Füssen is first where you arrive by train. That's already in the Alps, so like in the mountains of the south of southern Germany, of Austria and Switzerland, and so like really beautiful scenery with like old houses again here, cobblestone streets, narrow ones, and in the background, depending on the street where you are, you can also see the castle, you can see the mountains. So like that's a really scenic city. We will walk a little bit through that place, get like just soaking up a little bit the atmosphere of the city, and then get into a local Bavarian restaurant at around 6:30, take there our dinner together, and then return to Munich, where you probably then, maybe 10:30 will arrive.
And then the next day we do leave Munich and head towards Frankfurt.
Yeah, we will change completely the location from quite cozy, quite relaxed Munich despite of being a city of 1.6 million people living in, we will switch to the finance center and the busy Frankfurt. Or you can enjoy your last morning in Munich, get like a last walk through the city, and then probably around 11 a.m. We take together the train to Frankfurt, where you then, after around 3 hours train ride, will arrive to Frankfurt. The atmosphere will be already completely different, because from the more historical conservative Munich, as I mentioned, you will see then a lot of bank towers, skyscrapers there in the city center. So like a completely switch of the city. But also Frankfurt has its old town charm, which is not in the city center, but right next to the city center. So like there we will also visit then a Christmas market at that time. But also we will visit their kind of special Christmas market that's on a rooftop kind of, where you then have the possibility to see all the towers in the background. In the afternoon, that will all happen in the later afternoon. Of course, after we arrive to Frankfurt, you have time to check into your hotel, a little bit of time for yourself before we then do like the Christmas market tour in Frankfurt.
And then the next day we head towards Cologne.
Yeah, Cologne probably will be one of the most impressive markets that you will experience. So like that's a must see on a Christmas market tour in Germany, because like with a famous cathedral in the background and the markets and the market in the stalls before, that's definitely a incredible, impressive picture. We will leave Frankfurt at around 9:30 a.m. and will then arrive probably around at around 11 a.m. That's a short train ride. We will have there, that depends a little bit on the kind of views on that day, on the weather, because there's also a really scenic train ride. That's actually the one that you see behind me. That's the Rhine River, and it takes a little bit longer, but it's absolutely worth the detour, but only nice with good views. So like that depends a little bit on the weather on that day, which route you will take to Cologne. Arriving once in Cologne, we will walk together a little bit through the city center along the Rhine River, until you then have plenty of time, probably around 3 to 3.5 hours for yourself in Cologne. There are a lot of possibilities. We can also organize you there something like, for example, viewing points. There's also like the Lindt Chocolate Museum. There are two chocolate museums, or Lindt chocolate museums, existing. One, of course, in Switzerland, close to Zurich, and the second one in Cologne. That's a really nice experience that you should not miss for Cologne. And as I said, you have plenty of time visiting. There are several attractions. Then in the afternoon, probably around 3 p.m., we will get on a Christmas market tour in Cologne, explaining a little bit the city center, some sites, but also, of course, like the famous markets, where Cologne has also, for example, a market next to the river. Then, of course, the famous one at the Dome, and also several others. We will get done with the tour probably around 5 p.m., having then a little bit of time at the market for relaxing, for getting again a warm drink, and after that getting like a dinner together at a traditional Cologne brewery, until we then with a high-speed train around 8:30 return back to Frankfurt, probably arriving then around 9:30 p.m.
And
Maybe just to mention one annotation. There in the several day trips to Augsburg, also to Salzburg, also of course to Neuschwanstein, to the castle, as well as to Cologne, as well as at the final evening, there are all the time will be the dinner already included. So like that just to mention.
mhm. And a fun fact about the Cologne Christmas markets, from what I've read, this is the most photographed Christmas market in the world, so it is
Mhm.
definitely worth seeing for sure.
Yeah, it's an
And then,
impressive picture.
yes, and then the last day is upon us already, and it's our free day in Frankfurt and our group dinner in the evening.
Exactly. Like last day, 12th of December, the full day will be for yourself, depending on which activities you can or you prefer. You have full flexibility. We also can organize you an additional excursion, an additional day trip if you prefer. So like that day fully, gives you the freedom to choose. In the evening, we will come together with a final farewell dinner. Say, look back together at the itinerary, at the different markets, at the different experiences we had been traveling through together. And there will be also a small surprise then. Um, that is everything what you then will experience at the last day of this amazing Christmas market trip.
And then Sunday, if you choose to depart from Frankfurt that day, you would have your airport transfer, private airport transfer to the airport based on your flight. If you want to stay for a few more days, we can certainly help you extend your stay. If you want to move on from there and go see another part of Europe, we can help with that as well. But you do have a private airport transfer included in the package to get you to the airport, to get you back to your destination. So that is the itinerary for our Christmas market tour. And I know that there were a couple of questions that people had for us, and one of them that I know came up was the amount of currency that people should plan to bring with them, Julian. What is your recommendation for euros that people should plan to bring with them?
Yeah, um, actually, like in at most places, you can pay easily by debit or credit card. So like that's widely accepted. On the more smaller places, also on the more on the smaller Christmas markets, there sometimes you might need cash. So the recommendation would be bringing around 200 to 300 euro in cash already. And if you would need more, there are everywhere ATMs, so like you can get more cash definitely quite easy and likely also more cost effective than changing the currency in the US. So like the recommendation is definitely do not bring too much. 200 to 300 euro is absolutely sufficient.
Yeah,
And if you need more, you're absolutely have the possibilities to get that
right.
here in Europe, here in Germany.
Yeah, the ATM through the ATM machines. And then so the train tickets that we are going to have included are all first class train tickets. Can you kind of describe to everybody what that means? What's the difference? We, as you know, in the US, we don't have a ton of train travel, not a lot of experience with train travel. So I'd love for you just to kind of explain what that means.
Yeah, definitely. Like first, rail travel in general gives you the possibility to experience the surroundings you're traveling through. So like you will from getting from Munich to the different destinations to Salzburg to also to the castles. You will travel through really scenic pre-Alps area. So like that was definitely enjoyable. And the big benefit of the first class is like the additional comfort, of course. So like you have spacious seating, then also big windows where you can watch out, extra comfort, and yeah, one benefit of rail travel also in general is that you of course can walk freely around. So like there is a lot of benefits for traveling by rail. It depends a little bit on which additional amenities you receive in the train, depending on whether you're traveling on a high-speed rail or on a regional train. For example, additionally, at the high-speed train, you have at seat possibilities to order, and these are things that you, for example, would not have at the regional train, but they're also like the train ride is much shorter.
Great.
So like that's definitely the benefits of rail travel, and maybe one general benefit to add here. In comparison, we know that of course it's also quite popular to do Christmas market cruises, but the real benefit of getting through a Christmas market by rail is that you will have time to discover the Christmas market in the evening. You will stay in the hotel. You will be in the city in the evening. And so like that's where like the Christmas market, where we Germans get into the Christmas market, and not how it would be on a cruise ship, where you then in the late afternoon, evening have to get back to the cruise ship because you have to get your dinner there.
Christmas markets are definitely more magical in the evening than they are in the middle of the day. There's definitely no doubt about that.
Yeah.
So, so is there anything else that we're missing? I am going to share real quickly the website for registrations if I can find it, just so people can see it. Um, if I have it here. Um, so we have a website up that has all of the information, everything that's included in the tour. The accommodations are going to be 4-star plus. And breakfast is included every day. There are 5 dinners included in this package. We have obviously first class rail for any of the rail travel. Um, both private airport transfers at both airports. All of the guided tours and activities that were mentioned. So the only things that are not included are your airfare and your travel insurance. This website does have the full itinerary available for people to explore, and the investment is $59.75 if it's a double occupancy, or $79.75 for a single occupancy. And like I said, we're accepting reservations now. It is a small group. We are limiting it to 12 people. Both Julian and I will be on this tour, so you will be traveling with us. My partner Greg will also be on the tour. So there will be a maximum of 14 or 15 with Julian. So it is going to be a very small group. And we're just excited to take a small group around Europe and experience these different sites and locations, and let people explore their Christmas markets and other places, Neuschwanstein and Salzburg and all of that. So if people have questions, feel free to reach out to us. But Julian, is there anything before we conclude this that we are forgetting?
No, maybe just to mention again, like the great possibility this organized tour is. So like the everything will be organized. We definitely selected, of course, like quite famous destinations like Salzburg, also famous Christmas markets like in Munich and Cologne. but we also paid attention to get like more, yeah, not touristy places, like for example Augsburg. Augsburg is not a touristy place, so you will definitely experience here a good compromise between, yeah, touristy places and yeah, very local spots. I think that's a great advantage of how we planned the itinerary. And of course, it will be everything organized, so you have to sign up and get to experience like that incredible Christmas market tour.
Great. I'm super excited to bring people back. I'm really, really excited about it. So, with that said, I don't think there's anything more that we need to discuss about it, but just give us a call, reach out. We're ready to go. I'm ready to go now. I don't really want to wait till December, but we all know December is going to be here before we know it. So I guess I'll wait. But we're excited to take you on a tour of Europe, and please reach out to us. And we're happy to answer questions after you watch this, and happy to have you alongside us on our Christmas market tour. So thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you in Germany.
Munich.
All
Thanks
right.
a lot.
Thank you so much.